After years of waiting, finally the most powerful mobile video editing app in the world is available on Android devices. What's up? I'm RJ Bukulo, filmmaker, comic book creator, and mental health ambassador, here to help empower you to tell better visual stories with the best filmmaking tips, tricks, and techniques. For years, LumaFusion has been the premier mobile video editing app on iOS devices like the iPhone and iPad. What Filmic Pro was to video recording, LumaFusion is for video editing. At least, that's how it's been on the Apple side of the fence. I've always been a proud Android shooter, using Samsung flagship phones to shoot my mobile filmmaking projects. But I was always envious of how iOS had LumaFusion, and I was just waiting for the day us Android users would get something equivalent. Alas, that day has come, which to be honest was probably accelerated because of the recent announcement that DaVinci Resolve will now be available on the new Apple iPads. But otherwise, LumaTouch, the company behind LumaFusion, has finally released a fully working open beta version of their popular and powerful LumaFusion app on the Android OS. Now let's take a peek of what LumaFusion holds for Android filmmakers and video creators. LumaFusion boasts to have every pro feature you need to complete your film or video project, from different aspect ratios and frame rates, track layering, audio mixing, color grading, and much more. When it comes to editing, you can tell this app is real professional, allowing up to 6 video layers and audio tracks on a timeline. The interface, of course, is designed for mobile and touch, and features a powerful magnetic timeline where you can insert and override and link and unlink clips easily. The audio editing features alone are worth it, giving you the power to keyframe audio levels, panning channels, and EQ for perfect audio mixes. A very simple feature I also use on desktop video editors is fill audio to left or right channels. A very convenient feature is auto ducking, which automatically reduces the volume on your music track on the parts where there is active dialogue, like a voiceover, for example. There are a lot of effects that you can apply, both on individual clips and on entire layers. Luma and chroma keying for green screen, as well as skies are there. Color correction and grading tools are very powerful and professional, with the ability to import and use custom LUTs. The Filmic Pro D-Log LUTs are already included, which is very nice. Changing speed and using higher frame rates like 60 and 120 frames per second is also a joy, creating slow and fast motion, as well as reverse and time-lapse video. Another great feature is the integration of the Storyblocks library, which, for an additional in-app purchase, includes thousands of royalty-free music, sound effects, stock footage, and video backgrounds, so that you don't need to go anywhere else to download extra assets for your project. Actually, even without subscribing to Storyblocks, you still get quite a few free assets there already. Disclaimer: I downloaded and installed the LumaFusion app on my almost 4-year-old Samsung Galaxy S10 Android phone, so this isn't exactly the most top-spec, high-optimized device to test a heavy and demanding app like LumaFusion. But damn, it runs pretty smooth. Working with 4K footage with color grading on top, the playback is pleasantly smooth with only minor hiccups here and there. Render times are also pretty fast, where a 1-minute video project took me about 1 minute to render and export. The app has never hung or crashed on me yet, proving my 8GB RAM and dated Exynos chipset can still handle it. I can only imagine this would run even smoother on the latest Android flagships. Admittedly, the professional interface can look overwhelming at first, with so many buttons and icons where you have to learn what each one does. Other than that, the user interface is very flexible and can switch from different layouts and arrangements. You can edit using a portrait orientation with the viewer, timeline, and media library stacked, or a landscape orientation, which follows a traditional desktop editing layout. Personally, when editing on the phone, the long vertical orientation gives you the most streamlined layout, but if you're using a tablet, the landscape layout is perfect. A great feature if you own a Samsung phone is the ability to connect your smartphone to a computer or TV and use the DeX function, which essentially turns your smartphone into a desktop computer with its own desktop-like OS. I confirm that LumaFusion works in DeX and runs just as smooth as it does on your phone. The advantage, of course, is now you have more screen real estate for the viewer, timeline, media assets, etc. And you can use your mouse and keyboard, which I found a lot more intuitive for editing than using your cumbersome finger or thumb. It is very evident that the LumaTouch team are a very passionate bunch, putting themselves out there to bring the best product ever with tons of support and help. On the website, they have very comprehensive technical guides on how to use every feature on LumaFusion, while on their YouTube channel, they have an exhaustive video library which helps you walk through how to use and edit on LumaFusion. In a day and age where all your favorite apps are starting to move into expensive subscription payment models, it is a breath of fresh air that LumaTouch has firmly decided to offer the incredibly powerful and professional LumaFusion app for a one-time payment. Their motto, "Buy once, edit forever," sums it up perfectly. Admittedly, it's a more expensive app outright, but you are getting a lot of value, especially if you are a professional or you edit a lot of video content. Plus, you should take advantage of the 30% off deal right now for this open beta version, which guarantees you'll still own this app even when it's out of beta in full version. Buyer beware, the app is indeed available in the Google Play Store, but if you choose to purchase it on the Samsung App Store, you won't be able to share it or use it on other Android devices other than the one you purchased it on. Actually, I wouldn't really call these cons, but more as recommendations, given that this is a beta version of the app, which inherently means there's still going to be a lot of bugs to be found and things to be tweaked. Although the user interface is great, I found there were still issues with touch responsiveness or recognition. There are a lot of times it would take me 2 or 3 touches on a clip just to select it, even though a single touch can let me drag or scroll the timeline. Annoyingly, there are times I would accidentally overwrite a clip. I also found it difficult to add precise transitions to the end of clips. This could possibly be just an issue with my phone touch sensitivity or even my tempered screen protector. I don't know, but I did find it more helpful to edit when using a stylus pen rather than my finger or thumb. I did find while editing for long periods of time that the app would start to lag or underperform. I see the video preview quality is also lowered in an attempt to optimize the playback in these times, but doesn't help too much with the playback. This of course depends on the device you're using, and I'm sure my 4-year-old Samsung phone is just being pushed to its absolute limits. Again, it is understandable that this is only a beta version, and so with every update, the performance can only get better. I'll mention it here that some users did report having problems with importing or using MOV video files in LumaFusion on Android, but I tried importing MOV footage transferred from my iPhone 14 Pro, and it worked fine for me. Additional features that are missing here are things like speed ramping, where you can use a curve to change the speed of clips and transitions, and also the basic feature of applying stabilization to a video clip with shaky footage. These are the kind of features that are actually already available on other free editing apps like CapCut and VN Editor, but rest assured the LumaTouch team have already promised these features will be implemented in the next future updates. Hey, if you're liking this video so far, please do help support the algorithm by hitting the like button or subscribe to my channel for more awesome content like this. In the past, the best video editing apps for Android were the likes of KinoMaster and Power Director, which were solid apps but very simple or limited, and also somewhat dated now. Adobe Premiere Pro has its mobile app version of this software called Adobe Rush, but is very tame and simplified. Think of it as what Canva is compared to the desktop version of Photoshop. The newer breed of TikTok-inspired video editing apps such as CapCut and VN Editor are actually quite versatile and easy to use, with an intuitive interface and controls, and lots of built-in effects such as trendy transitions and animated overlays. But for the serious filmmaker and video maker, the arrival of LumaFusion on Android is heaven sent, with professional features made for a professional workflow, yet at the same time oriented towards a functional and pleasant mobile experience. So who is this app geared towards? Definitely for serious mobile filmmakers, especially those who love or aim to do an end-to-end fully mobile production, shot on mobile, edited on mobile. This is also perfect for professional filmmakers and video editors who like to take their work on the road but don't want to lug around a laptop or computer. Although adding an XML export function would have been great so that you can continue and finish your LumaFusion edit on a desktop editor like Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve. Content creators and online educators will definitely find this app more useful, with features such as green screen chroma keying and multi-track editing and compositing. Even vloggers and influencers can enjoy this app with full control over the look and feel of their video content and storytelling. without resorting to tacky transitions and effects. Since this is still a public beta version of the app, LumaFusion on Android is definitely onto a strong start, which means it will only get better and better as time goes on. Please support the developers not just by buying the app, but by actually sending your feedback, complaints, and suggestions so that LumaFusion can really be a special Android experience that can empower the next generation of visual storytellers. Hey, if you're really into shooting films and creating video content on your smartphone, here's a video I made on the 3 best professional video camera apps you can download and use on Android smartphones, with some honorable mentions. Until next time, reframe your mind.